My Stroker small block turbo police car is on the hunt to make as much power as possible. This one ought to make 11D. Turbo, meet your new home. Ow! Wow, that's hot. You got it. Look at that. We lost it all. In the last turbo police car video, we broke the stock 318 after a bit too much boost. In its place, we installed a 406 Stroker Mopar Performance crate engine, and boy does it like to make some awesome noises. But today, we intend to prep the Diplomat for peak power and drag racing at the strip. Think we can make it happen? Real quick, don't forget, order your t-shirts and stickers at the link in the description below and use code TURBO because you'll get 10% off site-wide. This offer is good until March 31st, and you might want to go ahead and get you a McCool Auto Turbo Diplomat shirt with the Protect and Swerve because this car is pretty slick looking and I just love these shirts. Back to the video. Well, we were worried about our traction issue. These street tires, well, they don't do much. So here's our solution. Hoosiers. These are 28 by 9s. They should hook, hopefully. We went ahead and put them on the stock steel wheels. I had an extra set of police car wheels, and that should look pretty good. I hope they hook. They clear pretty good. We just gotta get our air pressure right and hopefully don't break anything. No axle twisting, okay? None. Today's dyno day. We wanted to take it to the track. We put the slicks on. Apparently you can make a little more power without slicks, but we brought the street tires just in case we don't reach our power goals. It's not a tuner, but we're gonna at least be able to see what kind of power we're expecting before we go to the track and break something. So, I don't know. What do you think, Briar? What's your estimate as far as
wheel?
Power? Yeah, to the wheel.
410.
410? Okay. I'm hoping for at least 400. I'll be happy with anything over that. So we're gonna take it up to, it's Muletown Dyno. He's not too far from me. And I would like to see if we can tune it at some point and get a max power. But you know, the Holly does a really good job just for a base tune, but we still gotta figure out what kind of power we're making or we're just gonna blow something up if we're not careful. So let's get in the truck, we're gonna go. We made it all the way here. Now this is a mobile dyno. This is Muletown Dyno. He does an awesome job. He's always on like the power tours and local events. I'm nervous. I don't know.
Down a little bit just to verify that we're losing power, and then we go back up.
Right. So this car is running on 36, where it was running on 36. We're gonna back it down to 32 degrees total timing, but it does dial back 1.5 degrees per pound of boost, which is a little spicy. I mean, you know, you can run it from 3 all the way up to 1, but I just went ahead and did 1.5. It makes good power there. I'll play it safe and keep it that way, but we're gonna limit total timing to 32 degrees, and then again, 1.5 degrees per pound of boost. So max boost I saw on this thing was 6 PSI, but he was telling me before we started that a lot of times on these dynos, they don't have as much resistance as on like a paved surface. So we might not see 5 to 6 PSI max boost on this application. We might see a little less, but that's okay. And plus the drag slicks are not gonna help us, but my street tires looked really bad. And I was gonna put them on, but I was kind of afraid of them because they're dry rotted.
Third gear, 2,000 RPM.
All right, so let it build up just a hair. It's at 165. It won't take long.
Okay. When you are ready, what we'll do is actually, because of the stall, we'll try to bring you up to about 2,800 RPM before I give you the hit.
I think it's good now. It's at 180.
Just above 2,500. Wait for me to give you a thumbs up. Let off the gas completely. That was 254 horsepower, and it looked like it was climbing pretty good.
Okay, I think I stopped at like, what, 45?
Yeah, it was pretty early.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's good. I just, like I said, I just wanted to see that we weren't
Okay.
doing anything crazy.
So it's already more power than it made before.
Yeah. And that was 32 degrees?
Yes, that was 32.
Okay, cool. So this time we'll just work your way back up to third, 2,500. Wait for me to give you a thumbs up, and then you can do a full pull.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there and make some tweaks with timing.
Do you want to like signal me when it stops making more power or something? Or do you...
I won't be able to see it until
Okay.
after the way it calculates. So if you want to sneak up on it, you know, you can just go to like 5 or 200, and then we can see if it's rolled over already or not.
Okay. We'll do it that way.
But yeah, just keep an eye on your air fuels while you're doing it, just
Yeah.
to make sure that doesn't go lean.
Okay.
Because timing should be safe theoretically.
Yes.
so.
Yes, it should. 20, 25. I think that was about 54.
Alright, so it was flattened up pretty quick up there. It only made 260 horsepower.
Are you kidding me?
If you look over your shoulder, you can see the graph.
Well, don't think we're building any boost. That was awful. Atrocious power numbers. So I'm going to pull up my boost gauge here. We'll see what we're kind of making.
You are, like that pull, like when you were in it, you stayed full throttle the whole time. Right?
Best as I could tell, yeah.
That's the only other thing that can make the graph not read properly is if you like backed out or it wasn't full throttle.
Yeah.
Some people get, you know, naturally just like ease off a little bit. Don't
Right.
realize it or whatever. But you know, we're trying to measure how fast it accelerates, so we need everything is gut, right?
Right.
So it's an on-off switch, basically. Time to like boost that time.
About 5 pounds. Do I have a... Did you...
That was 270 is about the same, a little bit more.
So,
But that's okay.
I don't know, man.
So
That ain't...
we know it's making boost. So it's probably timing.
Okay.
You know, the old motors, if you get too low,
Right.
that's just what it's going to do. Hopefully it is just too low and not too high.
Right.
It seemed like it was a little bit rich. What was the AFR reading?
I was watching my boost level and I didn't...
I mean, I'd rather
didn't-
rich than lean, obviously,
Right.
so that's okay. But if it is way too rich, you can also scavenge a lot of power that way.
Right.
So I would say let's change the timing up to 34,
Okay.
and then we'll do a pull and see what the change does with that. If it likes it, then we'll keep going.
Okay.
Alright, it liked it. 291,
Okay.
390 torque. Still rolling over more at like 4,000 RPM.
Okay.
So I don't know how the map is in the Holly in terms of like how the timing comes in. For now, let's just do another step up to 36.
Okay.
But once we get dialing it in, we might need to look a little bit closer at the map and how it's pulling the timing in, because there might be some gains to be had.
Okay.
In smoothing the curve out.
And the AFR looked good. I mean, it was, I think I saw around 12,
Okay.
13.
12.5 would be a little bit more idea. 12 might be a little bit too rich.
Yeah.
As we're increasing timing though, that will potentially lean it out a little bit more. So it's like, let's keep that rich now.
Okay.
But there might be a little bit of gains in there as well.
Okay. Dipped into the 11s on the AFR on that one.
How much?
I saw 11.9.
11.9. That was 298 horsepower.
That's miserable. That's just depressing.
Yeah, that wasn't much improvement over the last, like the 2 degrees didn't help much on that one. That's awful.
The timing at 32 and then 34 was 270, and then, or no, sorry, 34 was 291 and then 36 was 297. So like down here below 4,000, about the same power, but the 2 degrees helped a little bit above 4,200-ish. At this point, this might be stall.
Okay.
That after 4,000, it might be a little bit looser than we think or something, and that might be why it's leveling out and holding power.
I'll pull that line right off.
Just make sure if you see like more than 10, you let out.
Oh yeah. A little hot.
Need some gloves.
You got a bolt I could stick in there? Yeah. It's a boost leak there.
So this is the part where I goofed. I forgot that I had done this the last time that I was in a dyno. This was a fix for me to make more boost. Now on these wastegates, there's 2 sides basically. There's a diaphragm in the middle with a spring, and if you get a boost reference on this side, on the lower half, it's pushing against that spring. And that's how I had it before. So as boost is pushing against that spring, it's actually going to get a lower boost number. So when you pull the wastegate line off, it'll make more boost in a perfect scenario. Now, if you do it on the top side, it's actually helping the spring hold that resistance and push feedback with the spring. So if I pull this off, it's actually gonna make a lower boost number. I forgot I did this, so I made lower boost.
So we pulled the wastegate line off. We're gonna see what kind of power it makes and see if it makes more. Hopefully it doesn't go like crazy and make a ton of boost, but we're hoping to see maybe a pound or 2 more with the wastegate line off. 34, all in, monitor. It didn't make 2 pounds until like 4,500 RPM. That is very weird. That doesn't make sense to me. Why would you think the
that tells me that like even when you are building boost, it's not really getting fed boost.
No, it's not.
And that's why you're not making any power.
I saw 2 pounds, and then I was almost done by the time it made peak boost.
Yeah.
It was with 34 degrees. Still, I mean, something is not adding up here.
Yeah.
I think the turbo's too inefficient, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, it could just be a turbo issue. You know, obviously it did make a couple more pounds boost, but that gain, like the 2 lines that we're really looking at are 291 and the 270 were at the same time in 34.
Correct.
So, I mean, they tracked very similar. I mean, 2 pounds versus 5 pounds, maybe that's the difference, but I mean, I don't know. I don't understand why it didn't make more boost with the wastegate line.
Well, we're going to try and change out the wastegate spring for just a little bit more. In the old setup, I had both of these springs in here just to make 10 pounds. So I don't think it's going to go too crazy, but we made 6 pounds on the light spring. So I'm hoping with the heavy spring, we can make 8, 10, 25. Well, here's our spring differences. This was making, well, it's making 5 pounds on the dyno, 6 pounds on the street. This one ought to make 11. All right, wastegate line is off. Heavier spring in. Searching for a little bit more power. If it doesn't make as much boost as we're wanting to, then we will go put the wastegate line back on. 36 degrees. What RPM is it making that?
Let me look.
Because I'm not seeing 4 pounds until like 4,800 RPM. I'm not getting peak boost until right then.
Yeah.
That's peak boost right there.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I can make boost
I don't
before then,
understand why the bigger spring. I mean, it should be like immediate boost
yeah,
increase.
you would
Unless
think.
it's like an actual turbo issue,
Right.
or a plumbing issue.
Right.
But I mean,
It's got to be something external to that.
you could try. I mean, just for like knowledge sakes, like put 38 and see if it likes 38 a lot better. And maybe like as it does heat up, doing a couple pulls, maybe it seals a little better or whatever. It does make a couple pounds more boost, and then see what. It doesn't appear it's going to jump to like 10 or whatever.
No.
So like
right.
So, but I would say let's do a 38 pull and see if it does anything different with that.
Okay. All right. 38 degrees. I didn't even look. I was watching my RPM.
A little less, 298.
So 36 probably best.
Yeah, 36 would be best. The only other thing I was gonna say we could try is it theoretically shouldn't change anything, but you could try brake boosting it a little bit before letting it rip,
Okay.
and just to see if we can get a little bit of boost built up to where it might carry a little bit more through the top end.
Okay.
It will mess up the graph down low and whatever, but you know, just so that we can get some data and see what it does.
Okay. Let me do that.
Basically, when you get up to third gear 2500, ease on the brake a little bit, enough to where you can get on the gas decent enough to see boost start to build a little bit,
Okay.
and then just let off the brake full throttle, let it rip.
Okay. It's not making peak boost until right at the very end.
Yeah.
So it's not making any boost down low or any, you know, it takes it a long time to build it.
Yeah.
And I think that might be,
It was definitely a lot happier.
But you can see like when you were building the boost down low, like I mean these are where we were starting, but it started a lot lower because when you were braking, it actually dropped
Right.
your RPM down. So that's why you have a much higher torque number.
oh my God.
That's almost 600 pounds.
Yeah. So around like a similar area, you still were making a lot more torque, closer to 475 through your mid range.
Wow.
But that's like the difference of actually having the boost in that range versus only up here.
That's a lot of torque.
Yeah. And that's what you're feeling on the street.
Sure.
Because when you take a roll from like 1500 or whatever, that's what you're getting, and that's what you're feeling.
And if we're not making peak boost until way down here
Exactly.
on a normal pull without brake boosting it,
Yep.
then all this is lost, right?
Yeah.
So if we could make boost down here, we could obviously see this number elevated and then this number be maintained.
Yes.
So that's what's really killing me, is not being able to make that boost down low, right?
Yeah, I think it has to do with the efficiency of the eBay GT45.
Yeah.
And the combination of the stall and
Right.
gear ratio and all that kind of stuff.
Well, our next and last option here is we're going to change out the wastegate spring to back where we had it and probably do another brake boost run like that. I mean, we're making 500 plus foot-pounds of torque, and we made our peak horsepower, was it 340? Which, again, you mentioned that was a lot of that could be in the inefficiency of my turbo setup and my piping and anything along those lines. So I think this is the fun part. Maybe. To some it's not, to some it is. This is where you're going to kind of figure out your setup and actually get it a little bit more dialed. We're kind of learning from our mistakes at this point. God, it's hot. Lighter wastegate spring back in, brake boosting. the brake before I hit the gas, so that might have impacted it as well.
Yeah.
How did it do that time?
297.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
user error on that one, because I let off the brake completely and then hit it instead of kind of rolling into it. But that's totally achievable with the light spring.
Yeah.
So the heavy spring was kind of...
Yeah, the spring's not really doing anything. It's just something with the efficiency of the turbo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you go ahead and shut it down.
The 2-pound pull. The green line was the 4-pound pull, and it was only 3 horsepower difference. And it's a little bit less down here, but basically overlays exactly up here where you're making the boost, about the same boost. So we know that the engine is responding to the boost properly. It's just that you are only getting 4.5 pounds, and whether that be a plumbing or the turbo itself efficiency or a wastegate issue.
Yeah.
But you know, if we were able to do a loaded run like this and get 6 pounds, you know, this is a 2 pound was peaking, you know, about 300, and then 4 pounds, give or take half a pound, you're 335. So you're looking at 15 to 20 horsepower per poundish. So 2 more pounds on top of the 4.5. If that's what you're seeing on the street, I would say on the street that you are closer to 360-ish wheel.
Yeah.
So that's not far off your target.
No, it's not. And like you said, there is so much that we could do to achieve that number, that we can make things more efficiently. Do you think, I mean, I know we're getting big torque numbers up here, but do you think that might be kind of skewed because down here it matches, or is it just because it's past that peak number?
Yeah, so
do you think that's realistic, like at 3,000 RPM making 550?
So if it was a manual transmission car, you'd never see that. This is partly because of torque converter flashing, if you will, below its stall speed, and it's doing its job converting engine speed to torque, if you will. But at the end of the day, the dyno's reading that, right? So that's what you feel when you're on the road.
Right.
That's the purpose of that torque converter, and that's why drag racers put torque converters in, because that's what you're doing. That's what to the wheel, like that's effectively kind of what's happening.
Yeah.
It's not really exact correlation of if you put the engine on and engine down, you're not going to see quite those numbers, obviously. But I would say more like in this range is more a reasonable number of like comparable to a manual transmission in terms of torque, because this is after the stall, you know, starting to not lock up, but be more efficient.
So he told me to take it down the road and just see what kind of boost it makes, you know, actually with some resistance from the street, and it should make more. I just wanted to verify that actually it could make some more power. This is the first time we've ever actually done this with slicks on.
I'm going to lock my door.
I'm going to actually put my slicks on. It might get ugly.
Yeah, I got sent back.
Wow, slicks make a difference, don't they?
Yes.
Which I didn't really brake boost it hard. You know, it very well could have made more, but yeah, that time it only made, which I don't even know what I shifted at. I was just watching the boost level. I don't know. I could have messed something up with the seal, or it only made 4 and 5, and as soon as I let out, it made 5. Well, needless to say, I wasn't too happy with our dyno results. I mean, 347 wheel horsepower, that's a lot, you know, for a little street car. That's more than what your average stock Camaro or Challenger is going to make to the street. But the problem is that this thing should be making way more. And I could not figure out what could possibly be wrong, because this thing was building boost perfectly fine and it was making plenty of power before we went to the dyno. What could it be? I text Josh from Sleeper Dude, and I said, what do you think it could be? He rattled off of quite a few different things. He mentioned turbo shaft play. And I was thinking about it whenever I was changing that wastegate. I noticed that there's these marks in here. See that scoring?
That's not normal, but look at this. That's also not normal. Turbo is completely shot. Look at the blades. You can see where they were starting to wear. Our turbo is done. So that is why this thing was not building boost at all. Because the only thing that I took apart whenever it came to actually swapping the engine in the last video, you know, on the cold side, the only coupler I took off was that one and this one. All of those are tight. And then I did have to take apart the exhaust, but everything else is rock solid. I even put some orange RTV on these gaskets to make sure that I had a good seal. I couldn't tell of anything else. And he mentioned that these eBay feed lines are bad about underfeeding the turbo. So I've ordered a new one and I'm gonna modify this to where I know for a fact it's getting oil. And I know this line works and I know we're getting good oil pressure to it because when we prime the engine, this thing shot so much oil through it.
Yeah. That's a lot of pressure.
It just has a restriction built inside of this little doohickey right here. So when I take that off, I'll show you. Tiny little hole in there. See that? He said, drill it out. You should have no problems at all. I don't see anything inside here. Nothing stopped it up. So hopefully nothing's in our oil, but I don't think there is. So we're gonna drill that out, add a little bit more pressure through there, more volume. We should be good. But I'm gonna finish taking the rest of the turbo apart. Come on, buddy. You can do it. Well, special delivery just came in. Our new turbo. I just bought the exact same kind that it was because, one, it worked pretty good and I'm cheap. But we're gonna do some modifications to hopefully prolong the life of this turbo. Get out of there. Get out of there. Ooh, gaskets, important. Keep that, you need that.
Gotta have that.
Oh, look, another box. Congratulations.
I hate when they do that. Oh, it's black. Wow.
That was not intentional. The picture was exactly like that one. Alrighty then,
I
well.
like it.
Hey, yeah, color match turbo, why not, you know? No shaft play.
Wow.
Can you hear that? No, you can't. That's what's important. Well, that looks kind of cool, actually.
I like the black.
I wasn't anticipating, like, nice stuff. Weird how that works. Now people are going to think that I'm, like, legit, you know? Nah, probably not. Well, we have our turbo clocked this way. This is like the perfect orientation to fit in the police car. Now I have to do the same thing with this. I've loosened up all the bolts. I've got the inner piece here pretty much lined up where it needs to be. Now I just have to turn the compressor side right about there. That's just about close, ain't it? And we'll leave it loose. That way I can rotate it where I need to. I have these two level, like such as.
About dead on.
It's about dead on. Fryer said it, so that settles it. I like what I see. I like it a lot. Look how tiny that little baby hole is. So you've got all that oil pressure going through here, and then it's forced down at this little tiny bottleneck. So we're gonna drill this out just a hair to get a little bit more oil flow, and I think that'll help with our longevity, and maybe it won't blow up. I hope not. Nice!
All the oil.
Give me oil or give me death. Turbo, meet your new home. As I blow it up.
That's a tight fit.
Yeah, it's exact. That's why I bought the same one. I didn't want to have to do anything different. Get in there. No! And there's our new turbo. Gosh, it looks so much better in there with that black. I'm not going to lie, it looks kind of cool, but it should make more boost and be a lot better because there's no more shaft play. Tight as it could be. All is well. I'm hoping that it actually makes more boost or is it a little more efficient. I cannot wait to get this thing on the road, but we got a little bit more to do. We've got some more upgrades that we need to handle, so let's get that taken care of and then road test. I was doing a little research online, which is a little bit dangerous these days, and I found out that the 8 3/4 axle out of a 66 to 70 Chrysler B-body product, which would be like your Chargers, your Corvettes, your Roadrunners, along those lines, will actually bolt into this car with a little slight modification. It turns out that I have one of those axles because I was watching back the video, and when we did that first test hit after going to the dyno with slicks on it, you could tell this car was laboring. Now, it's obviously got the power to kind of pull out of it, but we don't have that mechanical advantage there. With the 8 1/4 rear axle, we've got a C-clip situation, plus it's a 294 locker. So it doesn't really have a lot of stuff going for it, but I think we can improve on this, but we've got to get the axle out of this car first.
What you doing?
Taking the diff cover off so we can get the C-clips and slide it.
Don't lose my tag. That's important.
Here, I'll just grant it to you.
Thanks.
There's another one right here. You want it too?
Yes. You're doing a great job.
Oh, thanks.
Well, it's okay. Smells like gear oil already.
Oh yeah, I'm pulling my sleeves up for this. Ooh. You really goofed it on here.
I didn't have a gasket. I just RTV'd that sucker. Oh, there it went.
Ooh.
Your controlled leak now.
Yeah, it's black.
Don't have a lot of miles on it. You just do your thing, gear oil. We'll be just here waiting for you. Hello, darling.
It's been a long time.
Look at that locker. Shoo-wee. Put it in myself, buddy.
That's why it doesn't work.
So the reason we pulled the axles out is because I want these backing plates. These are 11-inch drums versus the 10-inch drums on the other axle, and I want them because they're already also rebuilt, and they work perfectly fine. I already pulled the brake lines, got all that sorted out, and now all we got to do is pull it off and set it to the side. Our parking brake's still holding on to it, but it'll dangle right there and be totally fine. And then when we put everything back together, we'll slide the axles back in so we don't lose anything. But I want to keep this rear end together because obviously it has been a very good rear end, but it just might not be strong enough for what we're about to be doing with it. U-bolts in an axle give you a problem. That's why I use this Rogo lightning bolt blaster. This stuff rocks. I want to see if this will break it loose. These are all original, and I really hope that they do it because I don't want to have to be cutting these things off. Oh, easy. Absolutely easy. Like freaking butter. Heck yeah. Sucker's smoking, but they're coming off. There we go. Good rule of thumb is, it starts going, don't quit until it's off. There's one side done. And now I can very easily pull our U-bolts out. And once I get this loose, the whole rear end should be able to come out. Thank you for being kind. Alrighty, let's get old Reliable out of here. Come on, buddy. Don't give up on me. Get out this way. And drop her on down. Slowly but surely. Oh! I said surely. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Don't fall off now. Not yet. And clear. Come on down. Woo! Well, we're out here in the nice junkyard here that I may or may not have done myself. This is the convertible Charger. If you remember this thing running and actually catching on fire, then you know, cool cars, right? So this thing has an 8 3/4 rear axle, and it is pretty much a direct bolt-in for our police car. And I'm going to steal it because hopefully it's good. It was spinning freely. I mean, if we can get all the brakes off of it, get the housing and everything, put a good set of gears in it, this thing will actually be a pretty decent little rocket ship. We've already picked the car up, put it up on 4 wheels and tires, just so it'll like be a nice little lift. And then we got to get these out of here. So far, so good. We got enough space to unbolt them. You can see if the impact and take them off. Yeah.
Dang, we got it smoking. Yeah. Haha.
Yeah, who needs power?
Who needs a primer when you're me? Those shocks have a little bit left in it? Or are they just...
I think they're just...
I think they're just dead. Stiff as a board.
This car's been through it.
Woo! That's hot.
It does feel a lot more spacious because of, you know,
The lack of floor.
the lack of floor.
It makes a lot of difference, don't it?
Yeah,
don't
weight
have
reduction, right?
Yeah. But look at these frame rails. Well, that one's good. That one above your head, not so much.
Got a little crunch to it.
No! Aha!
That's crazy how this car's been sitting here this long, looks this bad. But when we bring a car in that's been sitting in the shop forever,
Yeah.
U-bolts always break.
That is amazing that they actually like, are good. Get out.
It doesn't want to.
There we go.
Have you ever gone 8 for 8
No.
outside too? A car that's been sitting out here for years.
Rarely does that even happen on nice stuff. That was a...
And the
very
shock plates came loose too.
Yeah. Everything. And it looks nice. Everything looks great. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to push it. You balance it. And I'm going to push it towards you. Actually, I'll pull it towards me. Get your side out. Well,
Go up. My side's still low.
tilt it towards me. You got a lot of room. You can tilt it down on my side.
A little bit more.
You can go a lot further on mine. There you go.
All right.
It may not slide out, so what we might have to do is pull your side that way.
All right, I'm passed.
Pull on it. If it falls, just let it fall. Don't hurt yourself. It's all right. You're good. I'm not going to drag it out there. That's all right. I'm going to put new axles in it.
Well, this is a little bit heavier.
It is a little heavier. Woo! We did it though.
I really thought that would be a lot worse.
So these axles can be a weak point. Look at how much they have to taper down just to get inside the carrier. Quite a lot. Plus those C-clips. I'm just afraid something's going to come apart. We don't need that one bit, but our rear axle behind us should be the fix. Compare that to this, the 8 3/4 axle. Look at how much stronger that looks. I mean, it don't taper down. It's a lot heavier of an axle, so that's exactly what we want. So we're going to go ahead and finish stripping this one down, get the axles out of it. We're going to pull backing plates, brake lines, get the center section out. It says 276 on the front of it, which that's not what I'm going to be using. I've got something else in store for it. We just have to get it torn down enough to where we can actually get inside here. Make sure it's all right. Swap brake lines, brake parts, you name it, we got it. I'll let you talk.
Me?
Yeah.
I didn't break it, you broke it.
So Brian broke this, and we have to fix it now. So this is basically. It's the vent tube, and it's also a bolt that holds down the brake fitting here, basically. So the hose goes in here, and then each brake line goes in. And they both broke, obviously, because they just are so brittle. Ow! Wow, that's hot. We also torched it, and I touched it. But the threads itself, they actually got stuck inside the axle housing. But I do have an extractor. So I'm hoping that if I just hit that with a hammer and twist it out of there, it'll come out, but I'm not very hopeful at this moment. Give her the heat, Briar. Fix your mistakes if you don't care.
I love breaking bolts. I can hear it coming out.
What?
Like coming out of this end.
Oh, the oil?
Not
Or
the
the
oil, I
brake
can hear
fluid?
like the pressure from it.
Is that what that sound is?
Yeah.
You've hit a note. Can you harmonize with it?
I don't know, that's pretty low.
Gotta speak whale like Dory.
Blown into a Coke bottle.
Whoa! Whoa!
I don't know what that was.
That got a little wild. Oh, look at there. Like butter. I barely even had to try.
That was... What the heck? Why would it turn?
I don't know.
I was starting to get scared for a second.
Me too. I didn't like that at all. Bolt extracted. And watch the whole rear end be junk on the inside. We did all that work for nothing. Dixie, what are you doing? Are you gonna pet her or no? What? Come on, man. Love my dog.
Just pet her. Say hi to the camera, Stinky. No. Okay.
There you go. Nice.
Ooh. Oh. What are you doing?
I'm gonna hit you.
Oh no! Please,
Really
please no!
hard. Really, really hard. Now we've got the gear set completely unbolted.
Oh no! Hey, there's no
oil in it, so that's good.
That was almost bad.
Golly, that's heavy. There it is. Oh, there's just barely any oil in it.
Clean though.
It is clean. No rust. Yeah, it's definitely a 276, and it's open. Yeah. Well, that'd be a good one to put a sure grip in. At least the gears looked, they look fine. Hardly any play in it. What you doing, Briar? Hey, guess what it is?
Am I really under the car?
Back beside the car.
Back beside the car? Okay. Right now I'm trying to get this bolt out of the leaf springs.
You didn't name, what is the segment?
Oh, back beside the car with Briar. I'm getting this bolt out of the leaf spring so we can replace it with this one because it fits the rear end, the new rear end, and this one does not.
So these rear ends actually on the factory have like a rubber isolator clamp. I think they call them ISO clamps. It works, and the problem is with it is that it will not fit for our new spring purchase. They're actually, the hole in the spring purchase is too small compared to what's in there. So we're like, we could drill this out, or I had actually had a set of leaf springs that had the smaller diameter pin locator, and we're just going to use that instead. So once Briar gets those out of there, we'll be able to just go ahead and test fit the rear end and see if it fits.
Oh my gosh. Hurts so bad.
There you go.
Where are you out?
This is what the old one sat on. So see, that was like an inch diameter we were going to have to drill out versus that, which is like, what, 7/16?
Yeah, half that.
Half inch maybe, yeah. So it's way smaller, but it'll fit with the factory location, and now we're good to go. And it should just drop right in place.
Pretty please.
So that locator pin problem will solve a lot of issues. I'm over on my side. Now you might have to move the leaf springs just a hair because it's like a half inch or quarter inch different.
Oh,
mine's in.
Mine's in.
Sweet, look at there, both in, dude. That's awesome. Well, that was easy.
Yeah.
Dang, it was much better than I thought it'd be.
I was expecting a little bit more
Dude, that thing
fabrication.
Yeah, no kidding. That looks awesome in there. The only thing, though, is that our shocks are not going to fit. I don't think we'll be able to reuse the
plates.
Yeah, but I have shock plates, so that's no big deal. We'll just have to get a different kind of shock put on, which it needs them anyway because these are blown out, and they're air shocks at that. Well, that wasn't bad.
No. I was expecting a fight.
Briar has the rear axle painted. I went ahead and transferred some brake lines. We got the brake hose on there, and then we're going to go ahead and throw it in the car, Briar. How'd it go?
It went great, honestly. Painting it black like that just really changed the entire game. You're goofing me. Now that we have it all painted black, got the backing plates on the car ready to go, so is John in.
I love final assembly. It makes my life happy.
This better be final.
Yeah. If it's not, I'm suing somebody. It's probably going to be you. Now let's go. Oh, you got it.
Look at that.
Woo!
Like it was meant to be here.
Nice. Nobody will ever know.
I'm telling everybody.
Here's our gear set. This is an original 391 Sure Grip. It has hardly any play in it. Looks like a good unit. I actually bought this up in Minnesota at the Back to the 50 show. This is like the only Mopar parts that were there, but I found this stamping where it does say 391 on it, and I think this will be a very welcome addition to our police car. And the good news is that my U-joints actually work. It's the same size. Hopefully everything kind of bolts right in. I hope the drive shaft isn't going to be too long or too short. 1, 2, 3, go! Oh! Yep. She's heavy. Woo! Done. That wasn't too bad. These are Dr. Diff axles. They're just stock length reproduction with green bearings. I put these in just about everything. They're really nice. There we go. Look at that. All right, moment of truth. Got to put the drive shaft in. Oh, okay. Please work. Oh, it's... Oh, thank goodness.
Are you kidding? No way.
How is that bolt in? I mean, we haven't had to modify anything. Oh, that is awesome. What a great, great thing. We haven't cut anything on this car. We've just bolted this in using factory parts. Woo!
The more you know.
The more you know, man. I mean, I didn't know this would work, but here we are. It's working. Oh, I'm so relieved. I was so worried about the drive shaft because that's going to be a major hurdle right there. And the suspension is at, it's compressed. I put the jack up under here so that I knew that for certain that it was actually got a load on it, and it worked. That is so awesome. I love when things work because most of the time they don't. All right, here we go. We've got everything done. Gear oil in, brake lines are done and bled. We've got KYB gas adjust shocks. Get our slicks back on. Drive shaft is bolted down. Now we're going to see how does it do whenever we actually launch with it. 391s ought to be a heck of a lot of fun. So let's get it out of here and see how it does on the road. What do you think, Briar?
It better rip.
There we go. She's looking pretty. I was reading online that it said it would bring up the rear end just a hair, and it definitely did. You can see that the rear axle is sitting up a little bit higher now. So that was nice. Didn't even have to do anything. It just raised up the rear end. We're going to go do some driving around, just get the rear end warmed up, broke in, and make sure everything's good. But gosh, that thing was tough. I love it. Man. Well, no matter what, it's actually moving. It's a plus. The shocks are working. Like the rear end hasn't fallen out yet. We've gone on some pretty big bumps right now, but I guess it's okay.
For now.
For now. As long, I hope the rear end doesn't happen. I've got another 391 Sure Grip, but I really don't want to take it all back apart, you know? I'd rather not. Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah.
391. I can also feel the rake. Can you tell that it's sitting up in the rear?
Oh, yeah.
I think she's a little noisy. Just a little bit. When I get on the throttle, kind of hear it just a little bit, but
Yeah.
it's fine. It's stopping. That's also a good plus. Yeah, it's got a little noise to it. I feel like I'm looking at the ground. It's so
I know.
jacked up in the rear.
$50.
50. That's 2,600 RPM right there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? We need an extra gear. It would
Yes.
help. Overdrive would be great right about now. I mean, do I romp on it or do I chance it?
We did it for a reason.
We did do it for a reason. All right.
What was that?
I think that was our U-joint, Brian.
Oh my gosh.
So, we lost it all. And yeah, there's no park, so.
Oh my gosh. Dang it. We barely even did anything.
I didn't even get on it that hard. Let me just get out of this guy's way. What?
That was odd. It didn't sound like a U-joint.
Wow. I don't know. We lost everything though. Like, park doesn't work. But the differential broke, do you?
Surely not. We didn't even. It took here.
We lost forward.
I can hear it turning.
Look up under, see if you see it.
All right. It's spinning. Yeah. Yeah, it's spinning. You can hear it.
Now, how does that happen? Jeez. It must have been on its way out then.
Yeah.
Well, dang it.
We did all that.
I barely even got on
No,
it, too.
there's not even a tire mark.
No, I didn't even spin the tires. It just
broke.
freaking snapped the pinion off. Dang it. Well, guess we got to pull it back apart now. At least I have another one, but I just didn't think I'd shear any pinion gear. Dang. Well, how do we get home?
I'm walking. I don't know what you're doing. you gotta deal with the car.
There was a guy that offered us a ride. Maybe I should have took him up on that.
Dang it.
That probably would have been smart.
Everybody, you can do it. I see you eyeballing me.
Does this count as littering? Sign that says, please don't litter.
We need to get out of here.
I'm fast.
Well, we're pulling backwards right now. Get back up out on the road so he can pull me forwards back home. Thankfully, we're not that far. Just far enough to be annoying, you know? There we are. Tuck her on in. Hey, we're moving. I cranked it so I could have power steering and power brakes. And it's working. Of course. This poor car, man, I tell you what, it just can't win. Or it does win, and then I just break it again and do something different. That's just how it goes, ain't it? It's probably the best fuel economy this car's ever gotten to be running. You just get somebody to pull you. You don't have to drive. Well, we made it home. Wasn't too bad. Just stings that we had to do it, but we're back.
Getting pulled in by the lawnmower. That's quite the horsepower this thing's putting out right here. New tow pig?
Didn't think you could do it.
No, I thought it was just spinning the whole time.
That's 45 horsepower, pure American fury.
Wow.
Except it was built in Korea. Don't worry about that.
Oh, sorry.
Any words of
Regret?
Anything?
A lot. I broke it. That is the first 8 3/4 I've ever like snapped. I had one, the Sure Grip unit went bad, but it still was a good unit and it still worked. But I've never had one just shear the whole thing apart. I didn't really do it that hard. Like we put that other rear end through a lot more abuse. So I personally think that the center section was already down for the count, and I bought it with hope that it was actually going to be good, and that guy just probably didn't know about it, or he got rid of a bad set of gears. But it doesn't matter. I've got another one, so let's do it all over again, I guess.
Here's a question. Do you have a third one?
No, I don't. After this, it's over.
Well, I've gotten the axles out. The drive shaft is out as well. And I've got all the nuts for the gear here off. I'm just going to see if I can break it loose here, see if anything fun falls out. Maybe not. Can't get it to come loose, so now we're going to put a jack under it.
There it is.
Good gracious, that was on there. I don't see anything out of the ordinary yet.
It's about, what, 4 miles?
I don't know if it was, it didn't drive 2 of them.
Yeah.
And the problem is it's all fresh, but it's probably got tons of metal in it. So we can't reuse it. Great.
Yes.
Well, we're looking at our gear set here, and I'm just checking it out, just making sure, seeing whatever's going on. I don't really see much happening. I mean, it seems like it's got still good play in it. The ring and pinion gear looks fine. I don't know what could be the possibility, except, Ryer, when I stuck my hand in here,
Is it stripped?
and there's metal shavings inside here. So let's gander over here. Yep, look at there. That one wasn't engaged fully. Somehow it was too short. How? This one was the one that just gave up the ghost.
Dang.
Yeah. But how? How was it only engaged that far? I don't understand how that's possible. Because these are B-body axles. What we need to do is go pull the ones out of that one and see are they the same length. Another problem we were having here too is that, see how there's two sets of splines in there? One set is not lined up with the other. And that means the axle can't fully seat no matter what you do. So we need to line those up first. All right, it might be hard to tell in there, but the splines are now lined up. What we had to do was Briar had to hold one side of the differential with his axle, and I had to hold it with this side, and we rotated it just ever so slightly until they lined up. And thankfully, since it just barely sheared off the edge here, it actually still slides in. Believe it or not, it still works. So we can reuse this axle. I was testing the depth here to see how far it was seated, and I painted it here, and I painted it on the good axle, and both of them are the exact same length. So we know that these are all right. It just stinks that they kind of sheared off the edge. So we might want to clean it up on the inside there, just make sure there's no metal shavings. But how crazy is that? I mean, it was probably that far in on one set of splines, but the second set of splines, it didn't fully engage, and it just shredded it. So hey, that's what happens. And it was probably like that before. Briar made the point. You need to check these when you do these. You need to make sure those splines are in line. I just forgot. Hey, lesson learned. So remember me talking about having a 391 Sure Grip that would work. Well, this is the one that came out of the car. We actually figured out that it's good. But this was the other one. So look at the depth here. Look how wide that is versus that. This is a 456. I was told when I bought it that it was a 391. That's not the case. 456 Sure Grip would be a little bit too much. And I actually went and started digging out all the other 8 3/4 that I could find. That's a 355 open, 391 open, or that's another 355. That's a 391 that's open. So I had all different options, and I was threatening to go ahead and pull the Sure Grip unit out of one of these. But then that's when we figured out that it was actually the axle that had the problem versus the actual ring and pinion. But instead, we have something else that we're going to do. This is a 355 Sure Grip. This one came out of another project that we're working on. We got to talking about it in the streetability with a 391 for this car because we still want to be able to drive it on the road. Probably isn't going to be the best. So we're going to actually go down to a 355. Anything that we do is going to be better than the 294 we had. This should be the ticket and a good middle of the road. Oh, there you are.
Back into the car?
Oh, again?
Again.
Wow. Well, you were beside the car earlier.
What is this, like part 18?
Probably.
We've been onto this car a lot for some reason.
What you doing?
Cleaning the mating surface here to the axle.
There you go. 355 gears are in, and it actually bolted up to our U-joint with our drive shaft. So all that's good. Get our pinion snubber in. I know there's a big gap, but that's just because the suspension's at full droop. If we ever want to go more radical, we've got a 391, we've got a 456, but a 355 is a good middle of the road, good driver, and it should be usable on the street as well as at the drag strip. Anything is better than what we had, which was at 294. Even though it was a strong rear end, this one's much stronger, better gears, easier to swap. There you go. Let's get this thing on the ground, and we're going to try it again without breaking it. We are back in action. There's oil in the rear end. Let's see if it'll work this time. Seat belts, most importantly. Reverse. Moved. We are currently moving. I don't hear any noises. The shocks are working good. And I mean, it drove great before. That's the thing. It was actually with the 391s. I did mention I could hear a little bit of a howl. I mean, it was kind of noisy with the gears, but not enough to be like of concern. And the good news is that I do believe those other gears perfectly fine. But the 355's a lot more streetable because this car, I do like driving it. I really enjoy this car.
So I just want to keep it that way. Not noisy. Wait till I let off the gas, see if I can hear it. Nope. No noise at all. Quiet set of gears. That's good. Exactly what we wanted. Woo! A lot of work, guys, I tell you. A lot of work there. I mean, even just changing a set of gears isn't a lot of, it's not hard, it's kind of time consuming because you gotta, you know, undo all the axles and pull this intersection out, but it's very rewarding. It's so easy to do in comparison. And if you don't like it, take them back out. That's about 2,600 RPM, probably doing around 55 maybe. I'm not sure, my speedometer doesn't work, but if I had to guess, it's around that. But the best thing about it is you can get into that RPM a lot faster. You know what I'm saying? A whole lot faster. Oh my God. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Just look at how nose down we are.
I know we're nose diving here.
I'm gonna have to readjust the headlights so I can actually see something. But
What?
I like it.
Oh yeah,
Or just don't drive at night. It's easy.
that's probably a good idea too. It's loud.
It's extremely loud. The wastegate, when it opens,
It was loud before, but
I think it's even worse.
really,
I honestly think it's even worse.
it about blow yours out.
Well, it's worse now. Because that turbo does a lot to kind of muffle a lot of the sound. When that wastegate opens,
It's let it loose.
totally different car. It's just extremely loud.
Getting my reaction to this. I haven't rode it yet. No, like hold on to something. Or?
I don't know. You
I don't have anything to hold on to. I'm scared.
hold on to yourself. That's all I can say.
Okay. Wow. That's got a little kick to it. Wow.
We
Yeah, I
were
like
spinning
that.
too.
Yeah, it was fun.
We were spinning. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the whole time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hooks. That hooks good. It's the heat. You can see it. Oh my gosh.
It hooks hard, really hard.
Yes, it does.
That's fun. I mean, it's ready to shift quick. You can go back and watch the video that we did after the first pull we did after the dyno. You can hear the engine labor because not only did it have the highway gear, it also had a groupie turbo. So we had a lot of stuff fighting against us. Now that we got a good turbo, I mean, it was making 8 pounds. Nothing else changed. Just putting the turbo back on it properly. Same wastegate spring, it makes 8 pounds. So we can put a little heavier spring in it and hopefully, you know, we might can touch 10, but that's good. That's really good. I still would like to get it professionally tuned, but the Ollie system, man, it's on the money. It's really good. It can't be that far off. I really wish that we had known the problems, at least with the turbo, and then got it down on tuned. But that's just, like you
We're
said,
learning.
At Muletown Dyno, the guy that runs it, he's like, this is how you find problems. You don't really notice this stuff on the street until you're like, why am I down on power? Well, it's because your turbo's shot. That's why. Hey, but it's back in action now.
It is.
And see, this is where I was worried about because when we did the engine swap, I really wasn't impressed with it. Like I kept saying, does this thing not feel fast? Like it doesn't feel fast like I thought it would be. But it was running on all motor, pretty much. I mean, it wasn't making any boost or enough to really feel a difference. Plus, it was just so neutered by highway gears that now it just, woo, it cooks.
Yes. Off a roll, I bet it's crazy.
Half throttle, third gear, and it just goes. God, that's awesome. Roll into the second gear.
It was spinning.
Gosh, it's loud.
Yes.
It's so loud. That wastegate just ear piercing. That's fun.
Oh, that is.
I mean, that's hard not to smile at.
It don't get better than this.
No, it doesn't. That is awesome. Yeah, we're spinning on the street with these slicks. I got 30 pounds in them just for driving around, but it'll hook on a track good, really good. I can tell it will. It hooks even harder even with 30 pounds on the street. We aired them down just a hair. It'd be fun. I was just worried about not being stable while we just test drove it around, which we do this on all closed courses, of course. Yeah. Wow. Wow, that's a lot better. Definitely a lot better. Wow, golly, this thing's getting some speed up real quick. I'm so excited to take this thing to the track.
Now throughout this video, we had a lot of setbacks. Our turbo gave out on us. We just couldn't make the power goal that we wanted on the dyno. We were having traction issues. We were having just issues in general with the weaker rear axle with a terrible gear ratio for drag racing. But all those things got fixed, and that's what's important, is that you can't just go out and expect everything to work right the first time. You've got to do some trial and error, and that's what we did today. We fixed the turbo. It's making 8 pounds consistently, where before, at the end of that turbo's life, it was only making like 4 to 5 pounds at best. And even with the same wastegate spring, so we can even go up from there if we ever wanted to. On top of that, our rear axle is not going to be compromised anymore. We've got a beefy rear axle with a dropout center section, so it's easy to maintain, easy to swap gears. We've got a 355 sure grip over that 294 locker, and on top of that, slicks, which we need to air them down actually on the track, which leads us into our next point. This thing's going to go drag racing. We're going to be doing an 8th mile local track here in the next video, so you don't need to miss out on that, because this car is going to lay down some solid times, I'm feeling. Because after that last video, I've talked about it a little bit, but I felt disappointed because this thing should have been a lot faster than I felt like it was. And with all the combination that we fixed today, this car is a rocket ship, and it is a force to be reckoned with now. The best time we ever laid down before with the old setup was an 8.9 in the 8th mile. This car's got way faster numbers than that, and I really think it's going to be quick. But I can't wait to see it. I'm not going to spoil anything. And then on top of that, later on, we'll take it to a 1/4 mile track and really see what it can do when it stretches its legs. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more on this car or any other car for that matter, leave a like down below. Don't forget to subscribe. Turn on the notifications if you want to see more stuff like this. And I don't want you to miss out on future videos as well, because I like you guys being around. It's great. I enjoy it. Don't forget, t-shirts and stickers are down in the link in the description below. You got to make sure you use that code TURBO before the end of March. March 31st is the cutoff for 10% off. Don't miss out. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one.